It's the Hook Podcast, episode number 3. Braylon and KJ rolling right along a snowy day here in Denver. But man, I am super excited for today. I think you are as well, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, these guys, After Midtown, they are fresh. They're new. They got a sound that really I haven't heard in Nashville, mixing this kind of mix of punk and metal, but smashing it together with country. And it really is fresh. And I'm so excited to have these guys on. Super cool dudes.
I'm super excited to have these guys on too. You and I were talking before we started recording this that I feel like there's some metal in there, but I also feel like there's some like pop punk, some sort of influence. So I'm super excited to dive in with Michael and Adam from After Midtown and see exactly where those influences lie and to see what's next, because they only have one song out and that's all we know about them.
Yeah, and if you haven't heard that song, you can go check out our playlist on Spotify. It's the Hook Podcast playlist. Just go ahead and search us and follow the playlist. I guarantee it's the best country music playlist that you'll find on Spotify, period. I guarantee it.
Awesome. So I love the Spotify playlist. Make sure you go follow it, just like KJ said, and make sure to follow us on all of your favorite social media. And if you don't mind, when you do search us on Spotify, follow us on the playlist, but also scroll down a little bit in the podcast and follow us as well. That'll just help us get to the top of the Spotify search, because there's a little bit of an issue in Spotify where you type in the Hook Podcast, we're the Hook Podcast, but we're like 20th in there. So if you don't mind, give us a follow on there as well. Follow us on social media. We will be doing some cool stuff on Instagram, as well as a new release Friday every week, and that KJ playlist that I'm super excited to listen to, because it is so dang good. Let's get into it right now. The boys from After Midtown on the Hook Podcast. We have the guys from After Midtown. How's it going, fellas?
Good as hell, boys.
How we doing, man? Guys?
Beautiful day in Nashville, I can tell.
Not bad. Unseasonably warm, but I'll take it.
It is snowing right behind me.
Dude, I wish we were in Denver. I wish we could be. I thought about maybe pulling my like SM7 over to feel like we were in the same studio, but
right,
man, we need to fly out there. Let's hit Denver up, man. It'd be fun.
Anytime. We'll show you around. I'm a native, so I've been here my whole life, so I can definitely take you to some spots.
Where are you guys from originally?
I'm from a little bit north of Cincinnati, right between Cincinnati and Dayton on the Indiana line.
Yeah, I'm from tiny little Amish farm town outside of Pittsburgh, actually.
Oh, nice. But you don't have the Pittsburgh accent.
It comes out when I'm drunk. There's certain words, like the Stillers. If I say down there, sometimes it comes out as down there.
I didn't know that was a thing. I thought it was.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the only place. It's the only place in the world that talks like that. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's weird. The only reason I know about that is because a friend of mine used to work in radio there, and he has perfected like that very Pittsburgh accent, and he does it on his show all the time, and I just die laughing every single time. So
are you guys diehard like Bronco fans, or how does that work?
Absolutely.
Man, I thought I was gonna have to play quarterback for y'all the other day.
I thought you were gonna have to too, and we didn't even know each other. I would have taken anybody at that point.
Anybody.
Best right tackle anyone's ever seen.
Literally, we should have just had Brandon McManus do it.
Mikey's already had a career-ending injury, all right? So I don't know if you need to know that.
Facts.
So it's funny that you say that, because you guys are our second one that have said something about a knee injury, or because we had Raleigh Keegan on the other day, and he was telling us that he played college football and he got injured. And so that's kind of funny. What'd you do, Michael?
First of all, I know Raleigh. Love that guy.
Yeah, it was so much fun. We had a good time with him.
Super talented dude.
Dude, wicked good keyboard player, by the way.
We were sitting here and we were chatting, and he just starts banging around on the piano playing Billy Joel. And I was like, well, that'll work in the podcast.
100%, dude. Like before we started like doing anything, back when I was like still a solo artist, Raleigh was always playing like cool, like bigger, better shows than me, but he was always nice as hell to me. So I love that guy. But you said you want to know about my knee injury? Is that what,
yeah, we got to hear about this.
It's
knee
extremely
injury.
unathletic, but yeah. It was like it was 2014. It's like the end of 2014. It was like I had like less than a year left in the Army, and I was running, and I decided to put my right leg into the ground to plant really fast to go left, and when I did, from my knee down, it went to the right, and it was gross, and I tore my ACL, meniscus, and LCL all at the same time. But the key is I've never had surgery. So I only had like 8 months left on my contract when I did it. And the way that it works in the Army is like, basically, even let's say it only takes you 4 months to heal from an injury. Well, if the Army standards for that heal is a year, then you're just stuck in there for a year. And like, I was pretty ready to go at that point, so I didn't want to stay in any longer than I had to. So I was like, man, I'll just get it done when I get out. And I've never got it done. So like to this day, fully torn ACL.
Okay. I don't know how you got snowboard with a fully torn ACL. I have no idea how you pull that off.
Dude, we're just gonna swing it. What's the worst that happens? It just continues to be torn, like whatever.
That's true. Adam's gonna have to be singing and pushing you around in a wheelchair. We're gonna have to get you the Dave Grohl setup, like Matt from Old Dominion used.
100% fine with that.
Yeah, no, that's 100%. We actually talked about coming out on stage in a Harley and a sidecar because we feel like no one's ever done that before us.
Okay, so who drives the Harley? Who rides in the sidecar? That's the real question of a duo right there.
Sidecar, no doubt.
I have no idea. Maybe we take turns. Maybe we take turns every night. I don't know.
I feel like Michael would drive the Harley.
Dude, you think that, man. You think that, but I'm actually more for the comedic value.
Yeah,
exactly. It's a little more.
This could definitely be a new game. Who in the duo rides in the sidecar? So we could start with like FGL. I'm saying that BK is definitely riding in the sidecar.
No doubt.
That's even, I'm not debating that. Kind of funny, you guys have a really great chemistry just going through watching some of your stuff online, and I was sitting there with my wife watching a couple of your videos, and she's like, they're like kind of brothers. They seem like they've known each other for a really long time, but it doesn't come across that way. How did you guys meet, and how'd you build chemistry so quickly?
All you, Adam.
Honestly, we're just two idiots from like the same exact town, like the same style of town. I mean, like we're probably the most. I don't know if everyone probably says this, but like we feel like we're the most normal dudes in Nashville. And honestly, like we had a lot of things in common other than music when we met, and for the record, we've only known each other for a little over a year now. And it just kind of all fell together super quick. And I think it's important if you're going to be in a band or a duo that you're like organically best friends, before the music starts. So,
Absolutely. I could completely agree with that. I'd like to piggyback off of that. Now, you said that you guys have only really known each other for a year, but you both were solo artists before. How did this happen?
Dude, so basically, last year I was playing some shows, I think down in Florida at first, like towards the end of last year, or the end of last summer rather. And I needed a guitar player. And one of my friends was like, yo, you should hit up this guy, Adam. He's a monster. So I was like, okay. So I did. And he came and played some shows with us. And like, I just quickly found out he was way more than that. You know what I mean? Like, you can't pigeonhole Adam to guitar because he plays every instrument professionally. And is a great singer-songwriter too. So it's like Adam's a total unicorn. And then we it took a little time for us, but to figure out that, we like the exact same style of music, grew up on the same stuff. Like both of our influences are very similar. So it allowed us to write songs with our influences being very evident because they're both very similar. So like when we sat down and wrote our first song, which was actually Boys Like Us in February, we were like, oh shit, boys, like I think we got something here. Let's pursue this. So we did. Yeah,
that's a solid tune. I've had it on repeat for the last like 3 or 4 days, man. It's killer. It fits today, but man, you guys have a very unique sound. And the first thing that I noticed off of that record is the guitars are heavy. That is not common in country music. And so, I'm curious if you maybe each of you could go and tell me 2 influences that you have in country music and then 2 influences outside of country music. Because Braylee and I have been debating back and forth for a couple of days on what type of music that you guys might say, because we hear a lot of different things in your music. So,
dude, that's a great question. First of all, it's a really good question.
That's a great question.
Adam, you want to go first on this, dude?
Thanks.
Oh shit, I'll go first. Yeah. Okay. So in country, this might, I don't know, maybe this is surprising. I like all eras of country. Honestly, like, I just fell in love with 90s country. We were touring so much and playing so much and playing these like 4-hour-long cover shows. So we get a lot of requests for that kind of stuff. And honestly, I mean, I heard it a lot growing up around my family too. But this is a little newer than 90s country, but like Billy Currington, I'd say is one of my huge influences, which is it's funny. I think he just managed to stay relevant through the changing tides of country music, really, the sounds and the production and all that kind of stuff. Another one for me would be Jake Owen too. I think, he's pretty diverse. I mean, he gets looked at, I think, as like a beachy guy most of the time, but man, his records were always killer. And, outside of country, man, there's pretty much no in between. I'm like a metal guy through and through. That's actually how I started playing. That's the first genre of music that I dove deep into as a kid.
I saw your video of you playing Avenged. Not bad on the drums, man. Pretty solid. I saw that.
That's where Michael and I meet in the middle, as far as, a lot of our influences are bands like that. Bands like that. I even throw it back to like some old school metal like Pantera. I'm a big Pantera fan. I don't know if they're probably one of the biggest. I'd say Avenged and Pantera on the metal side. So that's my outside of country music, I'd say. Yeah.
Awesome. How about you, Michael?
For me, country music, I never liked it, dude. Like growing up, I'm from me and Adam from very similar, very small towns, and I never liked country, dude. Like I was like quite literally raised on a farm, and I was just like, man, this stuff is so boring. Like old traditional country, I was never a fan of. I have a lot of respect for it. It's just not what did it for me. And then it was in like, I want to say like 2013 or something. We were riding back from the lake in my buddy's Jeep, and I'll never forget this for whatever reason. And I heard Sam Hunt's Montevallo record for the first time. And I was like, man, like this is very interesting. Like no matter what style of music you listen to, if you had country radio on and you heard somebody come on there and they were like, I don't know if you were looking at me or not, you probably smile like that all the time. And you were like, what the hell is that? Like we kind of want to have the same effect to where, half the people might love it, half the people might hate it, but 100% of the people were like, what the hell is that? So I would say Sam Hunt's definitely one of my biggest influences in country music. I would say another one is I really loved early like singer songwriter Brantley Gilbert. I really loved like the storytelling of that. I don't know why, man. I just loved it. It was powerful stuff.
That's a good one.
Yeah, but like You Promised, More Than Miles, all that stuff I thought was incredible. And so I think that's where I kind of fell in love with the storytelling of it. And then Sam Hunt was where I was like, you know what, maybe you can bend these genre lines a little bit. And then outside of country, I love emo rock, dude. Like I love like My Chemical Romance. Yeah,
I knew it.
Yeah, I'm from like my older sisters are like personal friends with like the dudes from Hawthorne Heights. Like we're all from the same area, So like, like I love that stuff.
I saw those guys at a small venue in Denver, like tiny, and I saw those guys and they rocked. They were crazy. So we kind of Braley and I we both kind of came from that background. I was more in the, like the roadie world. Braley was playing. And so we came from that. So we could both hear it in your voice. Just, you had that just certain tone that kind of sounded similar to that I pulled from it. So that's awesome.
Dude, My Chemical Romance is my favorite band of all time, actually. And I listen to a ton of hip hop too. I think that's where we get a lot of some of our interesting vocal flows and stuff from.
Yeah, for sure. So let's go back to you guys moving to Nashville. How did you both end up there? Because like you said, you guys have both been friends for about a year, but it seems like you both have been in town for exponentially longer than that.
Same story, man. You go first, Adam.
Yeah. I've only been in town for about 3 years. Moved here as a solo artist, as a songwriter. I didn't even spend my whole first year in town playing music. Like I didn't, believe when people were like, "Oh, it takes you forever to get on your feet," and it does. You just have to get out and network a bunch. No, I was just slinging away on Broadway, touring a little bit by myself. And then he moved to town. And we linked up.
Well, I think what brought us both here actually was like we both like went through a breakup and we were like, F it. Like, why are we even here anymore? Like, let's go do something for ourselves.
That's like it's like the countryest thing ever. Yeah,
right.
That's the same. Yeah. I didn't lose my dog. I mean, so there's that. But
I know you both have played on Broadway. What is that whole scene like? Because I've been in town. I've been, floating around on a Tuesday afternoon at noon, and there's somebody like you guys brand new in town who are out there just playing those 4-hour days with the random dudes in suits and the random bachelorette parties who are still left over from the weekend. Did you enjoy playing on Broadway? Because I don't think a lot of people do.
I think you do for a certain amount of time.
All right, there's things about it too. When you don't realize it until, because that was so normal to us for a few years, and like you don't realize how much you miss it until it's gone, kind of thing. But no, I mean, if I would have to sum Broadway up, especially moving to town, like as a, like the gigs that you not necessarily want to take, like it's still fun to drink liquor at 10 a.m. with complete strangers on a rooftop. So honestly, that's like the moments that I do miss so most of the time.
But at the same time, man, like anybody, I honestly like feel bad for the people that come down here and don't do that, because man, like you learn so much. Like, I mean, you can think you're a badass player back where you're from or whatever, and then you come here and like you got to know all these songs, and like truly there's a difference in the way that each person plays them. So like, one guy plays it different than the other, so they're like, I want that guy playing with me, not that guy, and that'll affect how much money you make, blah 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 blah. But dude, honestly, like the stage, we would not have the stage presence that we have today if it wasn't for the experience of playing Broadway and every shitty bar that would have us across the country. Like you truly need that. I thought that was just cliche, but no, you really need that.
I went back on some of your videos that both of you guys have posted over. I kind of did some crack research and went all the way back to see just where you came from and honestly, I could really hear the difference in your growth over the course of like some that was posted in like 2018 versus something you were putting out at the end of 2019. It really was night and day. I could see the growth. And like you alluded to, that really can only come from cutting your teeth and really putting in the work. That being said, do you guys remember the point when all the writing, all the touring, all the work, where you finally started to see that moment of this stuff is paying off? Like we are starting to see a little bit of traction and people are actually paying attention to us. Do you remember what that was like?
Yeah, I think it comes in waves, honestly, because both Mikey and I, we played full time before we even moved to Nashville. And so, I remember the first time, actually like being able to sell out like a small venue and that being a big deal. And then, you move to Nashville and you almost have to start over in a way. You're moving to a big city that nobody knows you. And but to recap on that, how important it is, man. I mean, like there's no replacement for the amount of time that you're on stage, and cutting your teeth that way. I mean, it's so important. And even like before you move to town, I feel like the amount of years that I played before, played full time before I moved to Nashville, that helped even whenever, we finally got on Broadway and started playing those shows. But no, it definitely, it cut the little wins are what you look forward to, and it comes in waves really. And for us, everything has happened so fast. So it's like, we've had a lot of wins within a pretty small window, which is awesome, man. We feel super blessed. Right
I think it all comes together too, like you were asking there. When you do certain things together, after me and Adam have been friends for a while and you build chemistry, it's clear that like the experience is similar, so that really helps. Like it wouldn't be easy for two guys to get together and one guy's been in the industry for 10 years and the other guy's been in for 6 months. You know what I mean? So we both pretty much went into this and we were like, like when we talked to all these labels and stuff, like, don't get me wrong, pumped up about that. That's awesome. But we would have been a lot more excited when we were 20. We're both 27 years old now. We have a good idea of what we want this to look like, what we want the music to sound like. And I think the moment it all really came together for us was when we recorded our first couple songs, like Boys Like Us and a couple others that aren't out yet. And we thought they were sick. Like, don't get me wrong, like, everybody thinks their music's sick. But, once we sent them out to some friends and professionals in the industry and they were like, no, boys, like, this is real sick. We were like, okay. I think moments like that.
For sure. I like that you made that comment about how you guys kind of had the same path. And then now you go, okay, if we both weren't here for this long and been in the industry for this long, this wouldn't work. Cause that's kind of how KJ and I are. I actually was KJ's intern 10 years ago. And then we have worked in the industry together for the last 10 years and worked in the same radio group. And now we're doing this. And I don't think that it would be like you guys, it wouldn't be the same if it wasn't for us being together for that long and both cutting our teeth and realizing that, there's a lot more to do here. And we, each side of it, this pulls the weight, not one person's pulling the other side.
Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted Adam to meet me in 2018, for example. Like I wasn't ready for that at that time. I didn't know exactly who I was musically.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And I think I was going to say that, No, I think too, like, just, like being younger, like take example, if I would go back to like 22, like we definitely, wouldn't be ready for this. I think we just got to a certain point where it's just like, man, we decided we're doing this for a living. And once you get so far into it, you're like, I don't really have a backup plan. So I'm just gonna, we just decided to come together and make the music that we wanted to make and really throw all of our influences of all, see what sticks. But like when you're younger, it's funny, the inexperience is like, you feel like you need to write to the radio, or you feel like you need to be a certain way in order to have success. And that's just not, I just feel like it's not true anymore. So that's kind of where we're sitting right now. I feel like it's hopefully everyone views it as original as we thought it was, whenever we started writing. So.
Well, you wrote the whole EP, right? So, tell us about that, because that's pretty rare that you write the whole, all of your music. It seems like most artists that they do a good chunk of the writing, but when I was looking through your website, I was reading your bio and it said that you wrote the whole EP. So tell us about that and that process and why it was so important for you to write this EP and be the ones to have the voice on it.
First things first, Adam builds all of our tracks. So on the records, everything that you hear musically, like every guitar sound, every drum sound, everything is all Adam. Adam plays it in that little room that he's sitting in right now. And then we take it, he'll record everything individually, and then we'll take the stems over to our producer, Austin, and he'll kind of bring it to life, polish it up, and we'll put vocals on it. So, but like I said, our styles and our influences are so specific that if Adam's not doing that, then our tracks would never sound like they do now. We couldn't just go to a producer and be like, hey, we want an After Midtown song, because that's so specific. There's really nobody that kind of has the sound that we have right now, I guess you could say. But, so Adam does that. And he's a great lyricist as well. But me personally, when I write music, like, dude, I can write lyrics and stuff all day. And like, I love interesting vocal flows and stuff like that. But I'm so basic on the guitar. Like I am not creative on the guitar whatsoever. So I'll end up writing the same chord progression 5 times, which is boring to a consumer. So then you bring somebody like Adam into the mix, who is endlessly creative instrumentally. So he'll write a piece on the guitar, something that's very inspiring to me, and it'll set a mood in my head and an idea, and then we'll just write to it. But I think it's so important that we write on all of our stuff, because I just don't think you get our sound if you don't. There's a couple songs that we're gonna cut though. I mean, like there's this song called "If We Ain't Us" that was written by a couple of friends of ours, Eric Van Houten and Heath Warren, and it's a great ballad. We didn't really have anything like that, so we're gonna cut that. And then Sony pitched us a couple songs the other day, like the song that Hardy and Tyler Hubbard wrote that we loved. So I think we're gonna go cut it.
That's awesome.
Sick.
Let's go back to Boys Like Us. You guys said that was the first song you wrote together. Do you guys remember the day that you thought of the idea and go, okay, let's do this?
Yeah, Adam, you take this one, dude.
Yeah, we actually we didn't even have the hook or like the song title yet, or it's just a bunch of random ideas I think that came together. I had the little banjo riff in the beginning of the song. That's all I had, actually. I started that just in a random bedroom in a house I was staying at for a couple months. And so I had that idea, in my phone. And when we were on tour, we were touring so much at the time, because, that's how we were staying alive pretty much and surviving. So we were in West Palm Beach, Florida at our friend Tommy's house, and staying there. We were playing a few shows that week. And actually, we have a picture from the day that song, our keyboard player actually took a picture of us. We were at this, he has this sick, outdoor back patio bar. And we were just kind of day drinking, and we're like, hey, let's finish this song up. So yeah, that was a pretty cool day, man. And it's we had no idea what it was going to turn into. So I think it's even cooler that we got a picture of it, that day. So.
No, that's awesome. So how much do you guys think how much would you say that you guys write together in comparison to writing with other people, like in your normal day to day in Nashville?
Dude, so every write that we're a part of, we're on together, so typically,
okay,
we'll have 3, maybe 4 writes a week, and each of those writes is typically me and Adam and 1 or maybe 2 other people, so it's super helpful, man, because everybody has their own style, and it's really nice to bring all those together. But as of recent, Sony handles our writing calendar now, and they've kind of put some dates in there for two-way writes between me and Adam, because they were like, hey, we got Boys Like Us, just you two, so let's just not forget to do that once a month or something, and we're like, oh yeah.
That's awesome. And who are you guys' favorite people so far to ride it with in town? I know everybody has their crew of people. Who is like in your guys's, I've got an idea. I'm going to save it in my phone because I know for a fact that I have a write with blank coming up.
You pick a few, Adam, and then I'll pick a few.
Honestly, this is a cool answer because it's all of our friends, and I think everybody with that question expects to hear like, oh, you have these dream rights and stuff like that. But honestly, man, I mean, we have such a formula worked out with our friends and our writer friends, and we know everybody has different styles and stuff. But honestly, man, I think collectively one of our favorite people to write with is Jared Munz and Ben Stennis. Those guys are sick. Honestly, Heath Warren too. He's amazing. Which is one of our good buddies. We've wrote so many songs with him, man. That's my golden crew right there. I think, right off the top of my head, anyways. They're all amazing. Honestly, we have so many great.
What a safe answer.
It is safe.
No,
I know.
I would say that I like a few folks. Like, we always get a good song with Jordan Walker. Love that guy.
Jordan Walker.
I know Jordan.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know. There's not a right or wrong answer. Like everybody we wrote with, I feel like we would obviously write it with again. We love him so. And
Jordan's a good hang too.
Dude, 100%. I was just over at his house the other day watching football.
Dude, the last write that we had, we were like, we probably should go to Waffle House before anything happens. And that's what we did. And then we were like, we should do this every time. So I think that might be a Jordan exclusive Jordan Walker thing for us. The last Jordan write we had, we wrote super early. I think it was like 11 a.m. or something. But we were like, we should go to Waffle House every time.
Other honorable mentions, Elisa Vanderheim, Emily Wise Band.
Absolutely.
Love them a lot.
I know everyone else is going to watch this podcast and be like, why? We'll get a text like, why didn't you say my name? You asshole. Like, what do you?
So what's next? I saw you were doing some stuff with, I don't know if that was Michael Ray's thing that you were kind of opening up for, or playing your single. So what's next? What do you guys got going? What's in the works?
Dude, so really we've kind of viewed quarantine as like a hell of an opportunity, because we feel like we would have never taken the time to settle down and do the stuff we needed to do had quarantine not happened, honestly. So we're taking this time to kind of stack our chips a little bit, write every song we can write, and pick the best ones and just come out of the gates swinging when they open. So, we're talking things over with management right now and stuff, and we're coming up with a plan for, the new year and kind of the first quarter of next year. But I think you guys will see several new songs from us like in the first quarter of next year, and I think we're going to release another single in January.
I'm looking forward to it.
So with the next single coming up, what would you say that one sounds like? Are we going to get more of that, that metal pop punk mid 2000s influence? Is that something we're just going to keep seeing in the After Midtown camp?
It's I think we're firing right back again with that same idea, honestly. Like we've wrote, we're big pop fans too, and and hip hop fans too. It's like we wrote some of the stuff that's a little heavy on that side, but this is like honestly just straight Kill Switch Engage meets Hardy meets and it's just country and metal. It's
the heaviest song we have, no doubt.
So yeah, I think it is the heaviest song we have. Yeah, drum wise and stuff. I went a little aggressive on that one.
We've seen a little bit of the rock influence come through with Aldine for a little while. He was really getting into the heavy rock side of stuff, and then FGL was doing some rock stuff. But what you guys do is completely different than that. When I first heard it, I was like, this is one of the most original sounds that I've heard in a while, as far as cross genres. And so mostly I just jumped in to say kudos to you guys. Awesome for you guys to be able to go there, do your thing, be in that environment, and not get sucked into being cornered into a specific sound and feeling like you have to be that. And I think that, you know, just the more Brayley and I reach out and talk to songwriters, we're noticing that seems to be a trend, but I think it's hard to do. And you've been able to pull it off. So
thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
You're able to, you guys were, I would say, one of the only bands who have those influence and go, okay, screw it, we're doing it. Because there's a lot of people who come from that world who are in town. I mean, you look at, you know, Dan from Dan and Shay kind of comes from that world. Paul DiGiovanni from Boys Like Girls is in town, you know, producing records, and nobody's really doing that. But you guys just went, okay, screw it, let's do it. What made you guys go, okay, we're not going to fit that mold. We're not going to get too far away, but we're also going to make sure that you hear those influences every single time.
Because we wanted to be happy with the music we were playing. You know, I don't want to offend anybody, like with the whole, you know, everybody kind of plays it safe kind of thing, but it is a formula, and it's a radio formula too. And I feel like we kind of just put that aside and, you know, in our minds when we're writing this stuff and putting this stuff together. It's just like, I would rather listen, like produce something that I would want to listen to, as opposed to try to play it safe because someone wants me to.
Dude, am I allowed to
curse?
curse?
You know.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, we just don't care. Like, dude, I mean,
I love it,
dude. Like, we have so much respect for everybody that's doing any other style of music. Like, dude, we like a ton of shit, and like we got so much respect for the dudes playing traditional Waylon Hank style country and dudes that are going straight pop with it. Like, we love it all. But at the end of the day, like, we feel like Nashville has just been this machine for so long to where, you know, everybody thinks you got to walk a certain way or talk a certain way and be a certain way to other people and like really act a part in this and that. Like, we want to show people that, one, you can make music that you want to make and it can be popular. And two, you can make good music and still be a regular ass dude. Like me and Adam, dude, I don't care if we're selling out stadiums one day. All me and Adam want to do is like get in a golf cart and like go tailgate with fans before the show. Like, that's what we want to do, man. Like, we're like, bro, we're just humble beginnings from both of us. And I think that if we don't make music that feeds our soul, then why the hell are we even here? I think we're just lucky enough that people like it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the answer for sure. Absolutely. And I love the music too, because everybody who's in town, I would say we all grew up on that. Everybody who's like in the game right now, in radio, in country music, in pop music, we all grew up on the stuff that we were talking about earlier. And so when it came on, like KJ said, I immediately went, wait a second, is this like a mid 2000s pop punk hit?
Yeah.
Like, and I come from active rock radio. So I immediately hear Adam's influence from the Avenged, the Kill Switch Engage, stuff like that. And I love it. And I think that that's what is going to push you guys even further forward, because nobody is doing anything even remotely close to what you guys are doing.
But even if they tried, it would be hard to do it the way that you do it. And I think that it's because of the balance that you have. And then you're keeping the production in-house versus letting that, and having a producer steer you or guide you in a certain direction. You don't have to worry about that. You just keep it real. Yeah. And that's honestly, when I saw your video and I reached out to you to come on, and you were just humble as hell, man. You just reached right back out. You're like, yeah, we'll come. We'll be on your podcast. And, you didn't know me. It didn't matter. I love that. That's what I hope to see more and more as I dig in, that there are more dudes like you guys. But, it was just cool to come across that right away and hear that influence. And it just caught me completely off guard. I was not expecting it.
The music is, if you think about the grand scheme of life, like, music is such a stupid thing to be good at. Like, everybody wants to put musicians up on this pedestal and act like they're like larger than life itself. But at the end of the day, dude, like, we just play music. Like I served 4 years of my life with some people that do shit that actually matters. You know what I mean? Like, me and Adam, we're doing something that we love and people happen to like it. And stylistically, like you were talking about the old Jason Aldean stuff and things like that, when they were starting to go a little rock with it. Like, yeah, that shit was awesome. Like, we love that stuff. We used to listen to that stuff every day. But the thing is like, that's a little more Southern rock. Whereas us, we kind of describe ourselves as like, it's like FGL and Blink-182 made a love child, and like Post Malone was watching in the corner. And like,
that's funny that you said that, because that's exactly what my girlfriend said. As soon as KJ sent me the song, after KJ and Michael had went back and forth, KJ sends me a song, and I had played it for my fiance, and she goes, "Whoa, It's like FGL meets every like 2000s pop punk band. This is awesome. She's like, is there
People
any
are
more?
starving for that sound still. Like there's so many people from our generation that grew up on punk rock and emo rock and stuff like that, but you can't get it anywhere anymore. And if you told me a year ago that like that would mix with country well, I'd have told you you're crazy. But like now that we've kind of done it, I'm like, okay, that makes sense a little bit. Just the storytelling of country with what we like.
Thanks to you guys, MGK is gonna be putting out a country record now.
Yeah. That's Mikey's biggest dream. Oh my God.
Dude, we feel like, you know, we can't wait for everyone to truly hear like a body of work because like, yes, you'll always hear stuff like Boys Like Us, no doubt, but there's some stuff on there that's really different. You know, we probably have like 20 songs right now that are ready to go. And the thing is they range from like complete like punk rock basically to like almost like hip hop LA style pop. But the thing is like you mentioned MGK, like dude, I'm a huge fan of him. And I think the coolest part about him is that he has built such a fan base that understands his authenticity to where he can put out a rap record tomorrow and a pop punk record the next day and people don't give a shit. Like they rock with it because they know that that's really him. Like it's very authentic. It's really good. So me and Adam kind of want to have the same effect to where, you know, one day we can put out Boys Like Us and then the next day we can put out something where we're like talking on it. You know, it's just, we just want everyone, like that's why we love, you know, doing these podcasts and stuff like this. That way people can watch it and understand who we are as people so that, you know, one day if we want to put out an absolute 2005 just straight pop punk anthem, people will be like, yep, I fucking get it. Like that's them, you know?
Yeah, and I think the catalog is definitely diverse, but there's one of the good things about, you know, us having such a small team as far as, you know, Austin and I producing everything is I feel like everything still sounds cohesive, even though if the writing style is completely different or if it's a pop song versus like a country, almost metal song, I feel like there's elements in each song that make it all cohesive. But yeah, we're excited. You guys just need the Dropbox link that our management company has if you want to hear all.
Yeah.
And we feel like no one shared vocals like we have.
No, absolutely. You guys are completely right on that.
All of our stuff is so 50-50 and we love it that way, dude. Like, I don't think I'm a better singer than Adam. Like, I don't think I'm a better writer than Adam or whatever, and vice versa. So like I want Adam to be 50-50 partner with me in this. And that includes, you know, singing everything with me too and vice versa. Like, you know, we see all these duos. I'll take FGL as an example. First of all, love them. They're incredible. One of our biggest influences. But like, you really only hear one voice throughout that. Like, and I'll be damned if one of us is putting in as much work as the other guy and you don't even get to sing on it. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I heard Adam say that, Michael, your dream is to work with MGK. What is the dream right in genre, out of genre? What is the dream right for both of you?
Adam, you go first.
Oh God.
These are great questions, by the way, boys.
Thanks, man.
That's a tough one. I know I'm gonna say something and then watch this like 2 weeks from now and be like, why did I say that? I don't even know why.
Don't worry. We won't judge you.
Man, you know, I don't know how much of a role musically that Matt, the lead singer from Avenged Sevenfold, has played a role in the production or in the producing. I think all those guys are pretty well rounded like that, but lyrically, he's awesome. And honestly, like there's a few songs that they've put out that have kind of almost steered in sort of a southern rock kind of
like
country
Dear God,
direction. Dear God actually had a pedal steel guitar in it, so it's like, man, I feel like those guys could do the same thing that we're doing, and it still be authentic, you know, and write the same kind of stuff, you know. So yeah, I would have to say probably Matt from Avenged Sevenfold. That's probably my dream, right?
I would say if I could get everyone in the room at the same time, it would be us with Machine Gun Kelly, Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance, and Bryce Vine.
Okay. I love it. We were talking about how we had Raleigh Keegan on the other day, and we were talking about how he always plays Piano Man in his live show because that's his influence. If people come to an After Midtown show after the pandemic, what are the covers that we're going to hear in your live show? Because I can only imagine.
That's such a great question. Oh my God. All right. So first of all, we have a unique opportunity here because, you know, him and I both you know, like you said, split 50-50. So we do that. We do this thing in the live show. We have been doing this since we started. Like, you know, he'll want to take a break. He'll walk off, and it's like, hey, you know, we're gonna trade off here. And I was like, you're gonna hear his influences, you're gonna hear mine, and it might be some songs you'd never expect. But one of the out of left field ones I feel like that still makes sense on the show is Backstreet Boys, I Want It That Way.
Jesus.
That's a crowd pleaser, man.
Bro, no doubt. And
sure.
like, bro, look, everybody else, they'll be like, man, I want to make outlaw country music for like the 40-year-old biker crowd. Like, bro, we're trying to sing to like 22-year-old college girls, like whatever. But I think my out of the
sorry, Crowbar.
Inside joke, sorry. But we'll take it in a second. But I would say like my out of left field cover would be "You Found Me" by the Fray. I love the Fray. I think they're one of the most I think they're the most like underrated band of all time.
Yeah, I actually went to high school with two of them.
Sick. Can you hook it up? Because, dude, I mean, like, I'm bald as hell.
I don't know him. I don't know him now, but yeah, I mean,
Isaac, the lead singer from the Fray, still lives here in town because they do random stuff every once in a while.
Bro, I'm bald as hell. So, like,
yeah,
growing up, well, I wasn't bald at the time, but like now I think it's even cooler. Well, I'm like, damn, there's this bald guy. Because my first instrument's piano, right? So I was like, man, there's this bald dude that fronts his band playing piano. Like, that's sick. And the songs are mad good. Like, people don't write songs like that anymore.
So you guys turn on the radio today and you immediately go, dang it, I wish I would have wrote that song. What's the song?
Ooh.
Great question. Damn.
Like, so something current?
Yeah.
Yeah, something that's been on the radio in the last, let's say, 5 years that you go, damn it, I really wish that I would have been a part of that because I love the song, or it's just, you know, it's something that influences you, or that every time it turns on, you automatically turn the radio back up.
Dude, for me right now, like off the top of my head, probably Give Heaven Some Hell, Hardy. Love that song, dude. I think it's well written.
That's a great, that's a great one, man.
He's doing some rock stuff. He's got a little rock influence in his music too right now.
Yeah, of course, man. We love his stuff. And
what do you got, Adam?
Yeah, I think for me that one is, man, I'm a big Hauser fan. I'm a big Randy Hauser fan. I always have been. I just love a big old ballad, and that kind of falls in that, you know, Give Heaven Some Hell kind of thing too. But Like a Cowboy, actually. Dude, I just feel like that's such a well-written song.
And I speak for the both of us on this one. Anything Goes, Florida Georgia Line. Like that lyric, dude. Victoria's Secret ain't a secret no more. Like, what a lyric, bro. Come on.
And that 808 drop at the end of the bridge, you're like, oh, well, there's where the pyro's supposed to be.
Yeah, dude. We feel like, dude, their production's sick. And like, we feel like the only place that like we hear anything, we're like, damn, that would have been cool. It's like they take a lot of the low end out of their music. Like, you know, you just don't hear like it doesn't like hit you, you know, like it's a lot of high end, but whereas like what we're trying to do, like, dude, we want you to feel those 808s. Like in a couple of the songs we have that we've written recently, like, dude, there will be no doubt. It's
funny that you said Give Heaven Some Hell because we're having Hunter Phelps on next week. So
nice.
Oh, we love Hunter, dude. Bro, so Hunter the other day, so we wrote a song with Hunter the other day that we love. It's called See Her Around. But there's a lyric in it where you're like kind of like repeating yourself twice. And the next day he texted us and he was like, man, should we change this? Like, is this cheesy or not? And like, all I could think about was like, Hunter, girl, I know your favorite beer because you told me and I bought it. So no, Hunter's the best, dude. We absolutely love that guy. What a talent too. That Throwing Party song is sick. So sick.
All the Hunter cuts of his own are so good.
Yeah, dude.
Like Styrofoam. I'm like, well, that was genius.
Dude, before we wrote with him, like when he walked into the room with us, I was like, dude, I just gotta tell you, like, Throwing Parties is a smash. That is like in such a complimentary way, if that's even the right word. Dude, it's like the best frat country that I've ever heard. No, that's a good thing though, dude. Like,
yes, absolutely.
It's like the Asher Roth of country.
Yes, exactly. That's a name I haven't heard in a while. That's how you know that we all come from the same world when you say Asher Roth, and I immediately go, I love college.
Exactly, dude.
And I love drinking.
And we don't want to be afraid to say those things, man. Like, I think we're going to piss a few people off.
I love it. I love it.
I would only expect that from you guys, just based on the little bit that I've seen of you. I love the attitude, though.
The mutual friends that I have with you guys, like on Instagram, that I've seen, the people in town that I know that you guys know, I can immediately go, okay, I know how you guys are, because the people I know that we're mutual friends with, I'm like, okay.
100%. And like we've said for a long time now, like when people ask us about, like, I know you guys asked us a minute ago about it, I meant to say it then, but when people ask us about our live show, like, you know, in 2021 or whenever the hell that may be, dude, we just want people to know, like, man, even if you don't rock with the music, like, for example, no dude is ever wants to get like dragged by his girlfriend to like a Faith Hill Tim McGraw show for the most part, right? Like, for the most part. But like, we just want to tell people, like, dude, even if you don't rock with the music, even if it's not your thing, you're only like a fan of rap or something, bro, just come get absolutely obliterated and jump around, like, whatever.
Yes. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming on with us. It's been so much fun just to chat. And it's also fun to see what's next in Nashville. And I think you guys are the next in Nashville. And I know that KJ and I both can't wait to hear the rest of the stuff that's coming out.
We'll send y'all some stuff. Drop, like, let me know.
Yeah.
I'll message you my phone number. We'll send you a bunch of stuff.
There we
Boys,
go.
let's do it again, boys. This is fun.
I'll bump it.
For sure. When you guys have the next stuff come out, let's do it again and come on, and we can chat. And you can check out these guys. You can check out After Midtown in our playlist on our website and on Spotify, as KJ calls it, the best country Spotify playlist that is out right now.
No doubt.
Nobody tells us what to do, so we're able to do whatever we want and play whoever we want.
I found some random dude last night that he just had this song that just hit hard, and it just sounded straight 90s country. So I added it. I think he had like 1,000 followers on Instagram.
A man of the people.
Thank you guys for doing what you guys do, and that's a whole world of music that people don't realize, so it's really cool to this is our first podcast, by the way. I don't know if we said that.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so we're excited, man. Thank you guys so much for having us, and we hope as soon as All Night Long comes out, we will jump on here again. Let's do it again.
We will absolutely have you guys back as soon as the new stuff comes out in the new year. We're looking forward to it. Thanks again, Adam and Michael from After Midtown, for joining the Hook Podcast. You can check out Boys Like Us. It's on our Spotify playlist. Just search the Hook Podcast playlist. And don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. You can always catch up on the latest episode of the Hook Podcast. Just search the Hook Podcast on Spotify and Apple Music.